Check, check, check. Good evening, everyone. Let us now start with the inauguration of the Faculty Fitness Center. The center will be inaugurated by Professor R.I. Sujit in the presence of Professor V. Kamakoti.
Sir, come on, guys. Sir, come. Ma'am, come.
So we have Mr. Thomas who is joined us today.
Yes, sir. Sir, okay, sir. Sir, come forward, sir. Come close. Come, sir. Thanks.
I request all the dignitaries to join for the group photograph, please. Professor Mahesh. Professor Mahesh. I now invite Professor Kamakoti and Professor R.I. Sujit to inaugurate the Faculty Fitness Center by cutting the ribbon.
Sir, come, sir. Dad, sir, come, sir.
Let me know when I am.
Yeah, yes. Sir, Dad, sir, come, sir. Sir, okay, sir. Right.
We have Professor Kamakoti lifting weights for the Faculty Fitness Center.
Put the malacura. Nice shoulder press. You another form, Kama.
request Professor Ashwin to join Professor Kamakoti. I request Professor Ashwin to join Professor Kamakoti, please. We request everyone to kindly take their seats. We request everyone to kindly take their seats as we continue with the program. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you all to the inauguration of the Faculty Fitness Center at the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. It is a privilege to witness yet another significant addition to our campus, one that reflects not only our commitment to academic excellence, but also to the well-being of our faculty community. This facility, generously endowed by Mr. Thomas J. Mitta, in honor of Professor R.A. Sujit, stands as a testament to the importance of health, balance, and sustained excellence within our academic community. To formally welcome the gathering, I now invite Mr. Kaviraj Nair, Chief Executive Officer.
Thank you, Sharon. A very warm welcome to all of you. I would like to, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all our well-wishers here, to Thomas Mitta, who is from the class of 1998 Aerospace Engineering, Professor Kamakoti, Director, Professor Ashwin Mahalingam, who is the Dean, Alumni and Corporate Relations, our Chief Guest, of course, Professor R.A. Sujit, and all the other faculty and staff and all other members, well-wishers of IIT Madras who have assembled here on this very joyous and a very momentous occasion, because thank you, Tojo, for supporting us with this very important initiative, because every year we get more than dozens of support from the alumni on specific lab and research and other things. But as you know, people are what make every organization great. And so, occasions like this where the holistic development of the people are looked at, I think that's very important. So Toja has clearly looked at that part for people who spend long hours in the labs and the research facilities and teaching and other things. This will definitely provide the much needed physical workout. So thank you for, supporting us with this very important initiative. I'm sure that this will have a great impact on the community of IIT Madras, and extending a very warm welcome to all of you for the rest of the proceedings of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Professor Ashwin to address the gathering.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start again by thanking, it's tough for me to call him Thomas Mitta, I'm just going to call him Tojo. So Tojo and I are the same batch, as are a few others here. There is Murthy, Balaji, Prem. There are 3-4 of us from the class of 98. So Tojo was our batchmate. So Tojo, first of all, I hope you can see that I've dressed the part, right? So to use the fitness center. When we were students, I don't recall Tojo actually doing a lot of fitness. But when we met at our 25th reunion a couple of years ago, Tojo was a lean, mean machine as far as fitness was concerned. And we were talking a little bit about giving back to IIT and things like this. And Mahesh was the dean at the time. Mahesh and Tojo had a conversation. And Tojo said, look, one thing I really want to support is fitness. Right? And we do have a gym, as we all know, in the student zone, which technically is open to everyone. But given the number of students that we have, it's very difficult to do a proper workout in that gym. So we thought we'd create a gym here. Tojo, I hope you've got a chance to see the inside of the gym through the videos and things like that. But it's actually fantastic gym. All of us who saw it for the first time. I think there are gyms outside where you pay hefty membership fees, which are probably not even half as good as what we have here. So hopefully we can, use this very actively. And I think mental and physical wellness all go hand in hand. The more fit you are physically, the better that you will do mentally. And hopefully this is a great step in the right direction. It's also, I think, beautifully located right at the heart of the campus. I mean, this is probably the midway point, of campus. Also, Sujit, thank you for inspiring Tojo. It's really nice to have this gym dedicated in your name. Right? So we really look forward to seeing this becoming a very active place of use by all of the campus community. So thanks again, Tojo.
Thank you, Professor Ashwin. I now invite Professor Kamakoti to deliver the director's address.
Good evening to all of you. Tojo, I would like to know what inspired you to do. I was to ask that question, but I think half Ashwin explained. You are a fitness freak at your early days, and thanks that you have taught. So I would have talked a lot more about this, but I have my better half here who knows how my great habits are. And Aishwarya and the alumni office ensured that she's here so that I talk less about this. Okay. Right. So, of course, we need a wall to draw, painting, and our career is like painting, health is the wall. Correct? Huh? Yes? Fanda is correct? Okay. So, very thoughtful of you, and I'm sure we will put it to great use. You will see much slimmer versions of the faculty, hopefully, when you come here for your reunion here. We are really, around 50 friends, around when we cross 50, that's the point where we also think about what is going to happen to our health. And I think to have these very good habits, though I can't preach now, but I'll think in 1 or 2 months, when I get used to your gym, I'll come and give a beautiful preaching lecture. Okay, so. And thank you again for, Sujit has been a great rocking star of our institute, some of his work, we have been very, amazed by the type of work he has carried on, and that he has come and inaugurated here. On the other side of the coin, right? So basically looking at fitness, we are really thankful to you for having remembered Professor Sujit and dedicating this particular center in its name. And again, congratulations to the engineering unit for getting this space ready, and whoever set up. Thanks. And then this is called faculty fitness. So can staff use it? This was the thing. Staff can use it. Anybody who wants to become fit, you're all welcome here. And I want you to, no, many of the staff actually represent our institute sports. We have staff institute sports across inter-IIT sports. And I hopefully this gym will help you win much more awards, much more medals in the next. And so also make it a point, I want to put an attendance here. So all staff who at least give some 50% attendance here will only go for sports. We can put something like that so that we bring in accountability to all these things. So thank you again, Tijo, and hope to see you here whenever you're in this part of India. Please do visit our campus and your campus, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. We now move to the special address segment. I first invite Professor R.K. Amit, Co-Chairman, Engineering Unit, Department of Management Studies, to deliver his address.
I think whatever has to be said already been said. I just want to thank the director for the vision, because I think this is something which is very, very important for the campus community. I thank the donor, Mr. Thomas Mitter, Dean ACR for coordinating all the activities, the committee headed by Professor Sanjeev Senapati, and the residential zone engineering unit. They actually put a lot of effort. I think that is something evident from the outcome. We had some hindrances. I think we cleared them on time, and that's where I think we are standing here today. Thing is, when we were like, I think I just want to add, like, I also graduated with the same class 98 from IIT Kanpur, civil engineering. So I think that way, but just unlike Thomas, I'm not a fitness freak altogether. I think it's evident. And whenever we talk about exercise in management, we have something called procrastination. So we delay the costly activity. So I think that is something which should not happen when such a gym is available. So I think it's a very good value addition to our infrastructure, something which is not there as of now in any other IIT for faculty and staff. So thanks for this opportunity to engineering unit to actually come up with something such a value added. And thanks Professor Sujit, I think for coming, and we know I think for pretty long time, but I think he may not recognize me now. Yeah. So thanks, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Amit. I now invite Professor Sanjeev Senapati, Head, Department of Biotechnology, BJM School of Biosciences, to share his thoughts.
To start with, a big thanks to Thomas for this gym. So we have a gym, but many of us, me, Sundar, we try to go on daily basis, but we go there and we come back because it's so much crowded. So now with this, I'm sure that our fitness will get better and better. And I promise that we'll pull Director Dean ACR to this gym, not not to play lawn tennis every day or going to inaugurate other things. This gym should be the priority. So that will make sure that we'll pull them here. Thanks to our EU team, Narayan Perumal, Srivatsan, they spent a lot of time to bring it up in such a good shape. As you saw here, to some of you might feel that it is a bit congested because we had one important thought in mind, that to start with, let's have it a relatively smaller one because we don't know how many of you will turn up. But we understood when we are placing the order that it takes a hell lot of time to get the instruments. So we put up the instruments. So now we got the instruments, and thanks to Amit to push it really to the level, otherwise it could take another 6 months. Now the space might be a little congested, but the wall we made in such a way that this can be expanded. So our hope is that in 6 months' time, the wall comes towards outside and more footfall we get here. One more important thing is, we should have a membership type of token here so that we can sustain it. Some of you who go outside, you pay hefty amount, as Kama and Asin told. We won't charge that much, but we have to sustain the facility, right? So to cover up the trainer fees and the maintenance stuff, so a token amount of membership would be there. We are planning that first month it would be free for all of you. And once you are addicted, then this membership come in place. So therefore, we need to set up a committee, and there we want women, we want men, we want staff and faculty, obviously. So if you want to volunteer to give your opinion, how the slots should be distributed, if there should be a slot for women separately, and other policies. So please come forward, talk to me, Amit, Balaji, Asin, and then we set up a committee and bring up the policies so that we get the best out of this gym. Thanks, Thomas, once again, and hope that we get a fitter community in coming days. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. We now have the privilege of hearing from Mr. Thomas J. Mehta. Mr. Tojo from the class of 1998 is a managing director at Blackstone, where he focuses on liquid credit strategies. He brings with him extensive experience in systematic investing and portfolio management, having previously worked at leading global financial institutions like BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, and Barclays Capital or Lehman Brothers. We are now honored to have Mr. Thomas joining us virtually here, and I will invite him to address the gathering.
Hi, everyone. It's truly a joyful occasion, not only for you, for me too, very much. And I want to thank all of you who have made this possible. It's about 2.5 years since we spoke about it in December 2023. I was on campus as management student for our class of silver reunion, and while meeting with Mr. Kaviraj and former Dean Mahesh, who I'm very happy to see here today, they asked me what I had in mind, and I spoke about the vision of a gym for faculty members and their families. But in reality, that was already more than a couple of years of thinking and talking. I remember being an entirely unathletic student at IIT Madras. I think the student population in IIT in the 1990s was less athletically inclined than today's student population. The IIT population of that time was also less athletic than the student body of most other colleges of that time around us. But even within that sportively disinclined population of the time, I was particularly uninvolved in any fitness, I can say that. And it is only around the age of 30 or so that I somehow got into exercise through dabbling in recreational sports. And in my 30s, while living a rather stressful career in a fast-moving city, which is New York City, very much like Chennai is a fast-moving city, and I kept coming back to exercise, and I marveled at how beneficial it is. Not just in combating the tendency to ill health and decline of the body, but also filling you with mental energy for going out and doing great work. And when I thought about my alma mater and I was chatting with friends, I realized that there are facilities for students, as was mentioned by Professor Sanjeev Senalati, and the fitness facilities for faculty members and their families is quite limited. Faculty members who are truly interested would go out of campus. In my time, at least, you had to be sort of already fit. You had to be like a gym guy to be at the gym, and the others would basically, and the use of it as a casual thing for everybody was it was not common. Although the facilities were actually open for that. So on and off in the year preceding the reunion, I discussed this with my dear friend and classmate, Professor Balaji Srinivasan, what's needed, whether it would be a wanted gift at all, by the community, whether it would be used, and he really provided a lot of color. I have another dear friend and classmate, Professor Murthy. If you know him, he's very generous with his time and attention if you're seated right in front of him. If you try to reach him electronically, though, God help you. So I did talk to him, but only when I was actually there, and he would quite hold my hand and take me around and show me a lot of things. I had plenty of doubts by the time of my first talk with Mr. Kaviraj, but I've come to learn one thing about him, and that is that pessimism does not survive contact with Kaviraj. Like he'll make things happen. So for discussing the concept as well as the physical design of it, Dean Mahesh put me in contact with another friend from my IIT days, Mash, who's none other than the now Dean of ACR, Ashwin Mahalingam. And it turned out, like he didn't know about me, I didn't know about him either, that he is quite a fitness enthusiast as well by now. Also a civil engineer who knows a thing or two about designing space, facilities, lighting, air conditioning, the need for staff and a trainer, sound system, the cost of everything, all of that. So he was actually, quite involved in sort of creating it as well. So apart from being the dean now of a very relevant aspect of this whole thing. Finally, a few words about Professor Sujit. You all know him as the Institute Professor, as the D. Srinivasan Chair Professor, and a member of the NAE, and an endless list of accomplishments. I too know him as a great researcher. We, the class of '98, I think we were his first class. So I mean, he holds a special place in our heart, and we hope we hold a special place in his heart as well. I also know him as someone who mentored me personally in research. However, there's another aspect of him that was known to us, but maybe not so well known in the institute. As a young professor who had just started, he was very much into fitness. And he actually used to play some sports. He would come into the hostels and play sometimes with the students. It was quite an inspirational sight, for us, dissolving for us the false dichotomy between fitness and doing well at research or our studies and so on, which of course his illustrious research career subsequently has gone on to demonstrate very well. So it's very fitting that this facility be dedicated in his honor. I'd like to say, in addition to Dean Ashwin and the person who can put everything into reality, Mr. Kaviraj, I'd like to thank the folks at the engineering unit, like Mr. Narayan Permal and Srivatsan and others, as well as the staff of the ACR. In particular, I think of Shweta Bhupati, Deepika Shekhar, Ms. Ilavarisi, Sudha Haribhaskar, and Ms. Sujata, to name a few. And thank you, Professors Amit and Professor Sanjeev Senapati, for your words. Thanks to all friends and community members who are here. And please forgive me for not explicitly mentioning all the others who are also involved in bringing us to this day. Finally, I have to thank my benign mother, academic mother, under whose aegis we all meet and operate and do all our excellent work and progress in our lives, IIT Madras. So normally people would say something like, can you say 2 words? And I know some of the other speakers, they cleverly kept it shorter than me. But I'm thinking back to the days of playing street cricket, like on the streets as a kid. So we do some trial balls, and then it's time to get serious and say, all reels, which is like now the game starts. And now that Professor Sujit has inaugurated it, it's time for the fitness facility. I hope the faculty community and the families, they all enjoy it very much. All reels for the gym. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tojo. We are now honored to hear from Professor R.I. Sujit, Institute Professor and D. Srinivasan Institute Chair Professor, Department of Aerospace Engineering. Professor R.I. Sujit received his BTech in Aerospace Engineering from IIT Madras in 1988. He then graduated with an MS 1990 and PhD in 1994 from the Georgia Institute of Technology. He joined IIT Madras as a faculty member at the Department of Aerospace Engineering in 1995, where he is currently an Institute Professor and D. Srinivasan Chair Professor. He heads the Center of Excellence to study critical transitions in complex systems at IIT Madras. Professor Sujit is a recipient of the Alexander von Humboldt Fellowship and the Hans Fischer Senior Fellowship of the Institute for Advanced Study of TU Munich. Sujit was a founding editor-in-chief of the International Journal of Spray and Combustion Dynamics and is currently a member of the editorial advisory board of Chaos, an interdisciplinary journal of nonlinear science. He has been awarded the Swarna Jayanti and J.C. Bose Fellowships by the Department of Science and Technology of the Government of India. He is an international member of the US National Academy of Engineering. He is a distinguished fellow of the International Institute of Acoustics and Vibration and a fellow of the Combustion Institute, the Indian National Academy of Engineering, Indian National Science Academy, the Indian Academy of Sciences, and an ambassador of TU Munich. He has been conferred with a Lifetime Achievement Award of IIT Madras. Professor Sujit is a board member of the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center. Professor Sujit's research interests are in the area of complex systems theory in general and thermoacoustic instability in particular. It is now my honor to invite Professor R.A. Sujit to deliver the Chief Guest Address.
Thank you very much. My voice is not working very well. I am recovering from a viral fever, so please bear with my voice. First of all, I want to thank Thomas. I don't know if I should look at this way or that way so that he will see me. But thank you very much for thinking about me and actually deciding to name this gym under my name. Thomas was one of the very first students whom I met in IIT Madras as a faculty member. This was in 1995. I don't know, most of you were not faculty members in 90s, but 90s was not that great. Things were very difficult for a new faculty member, as you might have heard from your seniors. But now it's really good. But in those days, when everything was going difficult, I was teaching this Tojo, as he's popularly called, and Murthy and Balaji and so on. And they were really welcoming. They welcomed me to their hostel. That's all they have. So they welcomed me to the hostel, invited me to play with them, eat in their mess. And I was really happy. And it let me forget all my starting troubles here. And it was really good. They were also one of the best classes I have taught. And many of them, I think all of them are doing very well. I'm in touch with many of them. Most of them, actually. Tojo was my first student. As he mentioned, we did a very nice project. The question was about a very problem of national importance, when to open the heat shield of GSLV so that you can optimize the payload, and he did a great job with that. Now, what has I got to do with the gym? I think he was saying that I did something. So I just want to go back. I don't think anybody would remember except probably Murthy and so on, who were students. So there was a gym, it was in SAC, it was in a corner room, and there were very limited equipment. And to my best memory, there were 6 members. One was me, one prof, one PhD student, I remember his name, Basav, and there were 4 KV students. And 2 of them were trying to compete to be Mr. India, and they actually became. And 2 others were there, wanted to be in movies. One wanted to be a hero, and the other wanted to be a villain. 3 or 4 years back, I ran into one of them, and he said that he has become a villain. He's also producing movies and so on, and it seems all have gone to do those things. So these 4 people who are very spirited, wanted to be Mr. India and villain and hero and all that, plus me and Basa wanting to have fun. We didn't have any particular fitness games or anything, fitness goals or anything. One day, I used to also play music with the, what they call institute band, by some quirk of fate. Actually, there was a Aeronautical Society meeting, and our HOD, then HOD, had drafted the students, and when they were practicing, they got booed, so HOD sent me to go and check on them. So that is how my relationship with them started. And they were practicing in the SAC, so in between, I used to go to do this weight. So then the word spread to the Saras guys that Professor Sujit can lift weights. Yeah, I could do well. I was not like this. I was very slim. And I could lift more than my weight. I was probably 55 kg, but I could lift 65 kg. I could run 20 kilometers. Those are old days. I mean, I cannot do any of that anymore. But that was probably Thomas remembers some of this. And I did play hockey with the Saras guys in that stadium there. It was very nice. So then whatever happened, I had a membership in the institute gym. In the starting, it was 10 rupee. I don't know when it was ending. For 20 years, I had membership. But I got really fed up and quit because you go there and you come back. You go there and come back. You don't get to do anything. As opposed to in the beginning, there was hardly anybody. And then a coach came by name Shaukat Ali. He drafted a lot of students and it was very enthusiastic and so on. But at some point, the number of students started growing exponentially. And also probably the society changed and I changed and so on. So eventually gave up on this thing. So I bought some weights and started doing weights at home. But eventually, you can't do all exercises as you age. There are some things you cannot do. So eventually gave up. And one day I get a call from, I still try to swim sometimes. So I get a call from Tojo one day. I mean, apparently he had come here looking for me and he didn't see me. So he mentioned to me that I am not doing exercise. So he must have seen some picture of me with a lot of belly fat and all that. And he told me that I should do exercise. But he also told me why I am not doing exercise. I was very impressed that he could read the situation so well, that you must be very busy. And when you go there, either your slot is out or there's no space there for you. And so you must be fed up and frustrated and so on. It's absolutely true because after so much planning for everything, as you know, most of the faculty members know, there's so much time pressure and you have to plan so much to get to certain day in the swimming pool and you have a slot and you can only go in the slot. And when you go there, you say that the institute team is practicing for some other match. Or the other thing is, next week there's inter-hostel, so the hostels are practicing among themselves. Or there will be some things which I never understand, like you cannot swim in lane 1, 3, and 4, but you can do in 8, but 8 is already full. So eventually you get fed up and I think it will be very nice if institutes relaxes a little bit on faculty and tell them that they can go whenever they want and swim. Because hardly anybody comes, so at least those who come, it will be good and it will save on insurance money, I think, because now there's a scheme that you give money to paper if you are publishing in top journals and so on. So like that, if any professor does exercise, you should not charge him for gym club card or swimming card. Instead, you should be paying some money. So Tojo said that, I know the reason why you're not doing exercise, let me do something about it. And he has done this gym. So I hope I don't get thrown out of here. And I hope I'll get a membership. Maybe he can give me an honorary membership. But yeah, really, we neglect our health, not because we want to. I really sincerely want to do. But the schedule and the schedule of these places don't seem to work very well. So there's a very nice gesture to that. But I really hope that the institute authorities, many of them are here, would relax a bit on prof's swimming schedule. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank the institute. They have done a wonderful job. The gym is awesome. And a lot of people have worked behind it. I don't want to start naming because I will miss out most of the names. But I also want to thank Thomas one more time for taking this, having this kind and thoughtful gesture. And that the fact that he remembered me and the fact that he remembered that I like to do exercise and the fact that he actually diagnosed why I am not doing these things and that he actually did something about it. Thank you, Thomas, very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. We will now proceed with the felicitation. I now invite Professor Kamakoti to felicitate Professor Sujit. I request Professor Ashwin and Mr. Kaviraj to join for the group photograph, please. Thank you, everyone. With this, we come to the close of today's inauguration ceremony. On behalf of IIT Madras, I extend our sincere thanks to our chief guest, Professor R.A. Sujit, Mr. Thomas J. Mehta, Professor V. Kamakoti and Mrs. Kamakoti, Professor Ashwin and Mr. Kaviraj, Professors R.K. Amit and Professor Sanjeev Senapati, and all faculty members and their spouses, engineering unit, colleagues, and guests for being part of this evening. We also acknowledge the Office of Alumni and Corporate Relations for their efforts in making this event a success. Thank you all once again for being a part of this event. Thank you. I request everyone to gather for a group photograph, please. Renuka ma'am, you can also join, please. Engineering unit team, all the faculty members, staff of please come forward and join for the group photograph. Please, every one of you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Tojo, for joining us online today and gracing this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you.